back to the Real Estate Huddle. This is episode 110, and we are going to be talking about the most expensive mistakes that sellers make in our market. And so when homeowners make mistakes, they don't just lose money all at once on one mistake. Usually it's a slow, quiet process of decision making that leads to several thousands of dollars left on the table. And so today we're going to break down the 7 most expensive mistakes that homeowners make in the Denver market right now. And these missteps cause homes to sit. They force price reductions. They kill negotiation leverage. And ultimately, they shrink your profit if you're a homeowner. So whether you're thinking of selling in 6 months, 2 years, or tomorrow, this episode should save you some real money. So we're going to start off by number 1, which is pricing too high, right? And we've all seen it. We're actually the market leader in the country, Denver, for price reductions. So a lot of homeowners in Denver, whether they're encouraged by their agent to price it high or themselves just believe their home is worth more than it actually is, we're making this mistake left and right. And so it's one of the biggest ones in our market that we're dealing with. And so on average, homes come on the market, they go down 1% after 15 to 30 days, go down another 1% after 15 to 30 days, and then take 1.5% less than that. So that's the market average right now. Average, right? There are some homes that are taking like 6 to 7 months to sell, and they're also like going down in price much more. And so you just never know. But the law of averages tells us that those are the numbers. And homes are sitting on the market for about 43 days on average. And so I've ever seen. And so honestly, some of the things that really, play a toll in this are the market determines price. It's not the homeowner and how much like memories they have in their home and how special they think their home is, right? It's what is the market willing to pay? What value are they willing to pay for what your home has to offer? And a lot of sellers are just working off of hope or ambition right now as they're determining their pricing, and listing agents are doing the same thing. They're so excited to get a listing, and then they price it way too high, and it sits and it sits. And so as a homeowner, there's nothing more miserable than sitting on the market for long, long periods of time. And honestly, the first 7 to 10 days are like the most important thing when you're listing a new home, because that's when all of the excitement is at its high point. And then as you stay on the market longer, that excitement just drifts and goes down, down, down. And then you get speculation that starts to happen. And everybody starts to wonder, why are you still on the market? Why is this home there? There must be something wrong with it. It must be priced too high. There must be structural damage. That's a big one in our market, right? Buyers just assume and they jump to that ultimately worst conclusion. Or there must be some psychological defect that happened on this property, right? There's ghosts in the basement or something like that. Like, not even joking. Like, buyers come up with crazy ideas when they see a home has sat for way too long. And so strategic pricing like really does help, to create bidding energy, right? So like if you price a home strategically a little bit low or just nail it, then you're going to have people like bidding and have energy coming into your listing right when you hit the market. And those first 2 weeks are really the critical points. And so if you don't do that, then you may be sitting for a while. And honestly, a great price brings buyers into the door. But our next one, poor preparation can really stop people from walking through it.
Yeah, and adding on to that poor preparation, cleanliness signals care. Dirty homes just kill the trust instantly when someone walks in for a showing. I have kind of a funny example of this. One time I went to a showing with a client, and they were very adamant that we take off our shoes, but then they had cat litter all over the floor and just like gross, like hair and everything sticking to our socks. So of course my client was like, okay, absolutely no way.
Yeah.
So yeah, just
take off your shoes so our cats can crawl all over you.
Yeah, very
poop.
strange concept. But people like to feel clean when they're walking through a home.
Yeah.
Agents like to feel clean when they're sitting in your home doing stuff for you. So that's a big one. There's a few small updates that have a huge ROI, such as paint, flooring, fixtures. Those are just the little things that people are going to notice walking through.
Totally. And we say fixtures, we're talking about your door hardware, your sink faucets, your,
sometimes lighting fixtures.
Yeah, lighting as well.
Yep.
Appliances too. Those are considered like fixtures in your house. So all of those things can really, really help.
Yeah. And then something really helpful would be a pre-staging checklist, which would be just things like declutter, depersonalize, brighten. I feel like those are pretty self-explanatory, but the depersonalized one I think is pretty important because it's important that potential buyers are able to picture themselves in the home. So if you have all your family photos up and all your personal items out, it's kind of hard for them to picture themselves living in the home. It just kind of looks like someone else's home that they're kind of intruding in, if that makes sense.
It should look like an IKEA showroom.
Yeah.
Walking through, there's no pictures.
And there's very little on the counters. There's very little, like, you know,
minimalist living is what it should look like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like when I walk through your pink house, I think this is a great home for the Wilsons, but I don't think this could be my home.
Right. Because we have so many pictures of ourselves on the walls.
Hallie has personalized that house for her.
Pink. We're going to change that soon. It's coming.
She owns you, man.
It's coming.
She absolutely owns you.
Yeah.
Is the outside of your house pink?
I don't want to talk
Yes.
about it.
Strawberry shortcake.
It is. It's like a salmon.
The cute
color.
little strawberry
Oh, yeah.
shortcake
We
house
had one of those in
on the
our
corner.
neighborhood growing up, and I always wanted to live there. We called it the princess house.
Hallie prayed for it. And
You might have
that's
a
what
buyer.
happened.
Yeah. Hallie
you
might
want it?
have a buyer for her house.
Maybe in a few years.
It's a good place.
Awesome.
And if it wasn't in Parker.
I
Don't get him started.
I'll just say this. You're really missing out. You're really missing out.
Okay, anyways. The importance of curb appeal in Denver's outdoor-centric culture is also something that's kind of overlooked sometimes, I think. Yeah, especially with all the outdoorsy people that live here and stuff, they really do like having nice landscaping and things like that.
There's just a group of people too that like they want to have pride in their home as they're pulling into the driveway and be like, "That's my home."
Everybody wants to drive up to the McAllister home. If you watch these movies of those suburb homes, like Father of the Bride and Home Alone and all these like really beautiful neighborhoods. Everybody wants that.
Yeah.
They just want to be. Yeah, it's super nice.
I've driven by the McAllister home.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Does not disappoint in person.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And then just finishing up here, smell, lighting, and flow affect the buyer's emotions. Using too strong scents, like really spicy stuff. And
How'd that
like
cat litter
but-
smell?
Oh
Not
my
great.
gosh.
Delicious. Yeah.
So yeah, just a nice neutral, clean smell would be nice. Make sure you turn on all the lights before showings and open houses and things like that. And then $1,000 in prep can save $10,000 in inspection credits.
A little goes a long way when you put it in the right spot.
Yep. Yeah. Well, when you think about a retail store in a mall, right? Think about Kristen managed a retail store.
I did.
Okay. Altered State, right?
Yeah.
So what did you guys do to like make the experience, like a customer experience?
Yeah, I mean, we have a whole visual team that like just focuses on the aesthetic of the store and like, you know, color, like what color families go together. And then like the 80-20 or whatever it is. And we use that too. Maybe I'm like doing it wrong. Maybe it's 70-30 or whatever, but it's like you do things in sets of 3 or you like, you know,
kind of feng shui stuff.
Yeah.
We use,
And I feel like, I mean, I'm sure all of you guys have like been to a store, been to a mall. You walk in and you feel like you can smell, you know, a lot of stores have like smells.
Coming through the
and, like,
vents. There's,
you
like-
can, they're spraying stuff every 15 minutes in the store. You're like feeling the clothes and they're soft. It's like a whole experience when you go into a retail store. And I feel like the same, like if you really want to do well at an open house or if you really want to do well selling your house, like you walk in and you feel the experience of.
It's like Home Depot.
Now, why would anyone want to do that? It's buying on emotion, right? Like,
Yeah.
Buyers buy on emotion. That's like, it's just key. So you want to make your house look like a retail store.
Yep.
That's the
And
key.
just like, I think the key is like less is more,
Yep.
you know, the
And
less
people
you have
know,
on the counter, the more.
like, and it
No,
goes
yeah.
like with when you're updating this like carpet or like new floors or new paint, people can see that, people can smell that.
Yeah.
If you're walking on hardwood floors, you can hear that. Like
Yeah.
there's things that people don't realize they're experiencing in the moment, but those types of things really tug at the heart, tug at the brain, and when they're walking through it, as to help them want to buy that house.
yeah.
For sure.
So-
And it's one thing for a home to look amazing in person, but also in this world, digital world that we live in, it has to look amazing online. The photos have to look just incredible, right? And so that is something like poor listing photos, absolutely one of the biggest reasons why homes don't get showings. And if you're not getting showings, you're not selling most of the time.
I can't tell you how many times I'll be on the MLS and I'll be scrolling through whatever, I'm looking through the random searches, and you just, there's this one photo, like you'll be searching through photos and you know that kind of like the budget agents, right? Because the photos look like they've taken it on like an old iPhone. And then you'll see like the bathroom photo of like them trying to not get in the mirror, but you still see like their arm out with the phone, or like they're standing in their khaki shorts in the mirror. Like it's just, those are the listings that you're coming across. You're like, okay, is this worth looking at? Like, is this worth sending to my client?
Yeah.
The first thing people see, especially on the apps that we have like Zillow and Realtor.com and Homes and all that kind of stuff, is the photos. Everybody just wants to see what it looks like before they go check it out. So the photos matter.
Before they read the listing description?
100%. You want to know what? 90% of my clients don't even read the listing description.
But we spend so much time on those.
I read all of the listing description. So that's part of why you hire us, is we'll do all the homework for you.
Yeah.
So you can just look at photos. And then if you like that photo, we'll go check it out. And so that's the first step. Those photos are like the gateway into getting showings and getting an offer on your house. So when you hire your realtor, that's a big one. When you're interviewing them, ask them what their photos look like. Yeah. Have them bring some of their photos, or check out some of their listings that they have online or some of their previous listings. Yeah. Look at the photos that they've got, and judge for yourself whether or not those are going to be, what you want. And I will say there's great photos, right? But then there's photos that are like too much sometimes. Like there's a fine balance between you're overdoing these photos because they're going to walk in the house and be extremely disappointed. And then there's the flip side of these photos suck. The house looks so much better than this. We need a new photographer. And the photographers that we use are phenomenal. They hit it right on the head every time. And it just makes it so much easier for us to market the house, to get people excited about it. And then when you do the things like we talked about before, when you update the house, you paint it, you get it all nice and gussed up and everything, makes those photos like 10 times better.
And I think, like you are like, oh, if I want to save some money and take iPhone photos, if your house is updated and staged perfectly and you have that emotional appeal, but you don't have the photos, then you're not going to get those showings. Yeah. And your house could be perfect in every way, and you could have prepped it and you could have done all the right steps. But, maybe in the iPhone photo, the lighting isn't, correct. Or even what you said, it could be a beautifully remodeled bedroom, but if somebody's standing there in their khaki shorts, that's not going to get a lot of people interested.
And some of the most common like mistakes I see with pictures are like things left behind, like towels. Like nobody wants to see your wet towel.
Or shampoo, conditioner. Like, every girl has 12 shampoo bottles. We got to get those out of there.
Like get that big tower of like all those things you use in the shower, like get the loofah out of there. We do not want to see the loofah. Yeah. And like get away from area rugs all over the place. Like if you have nice floors, we want to showcase those floors. And I see in too many pictures, those little things that make your feet warm as you're like around the toilet area or around your sink. Oh yeah. Get rid of those things. Like get them all away. Get away from your plungers, your toilet brushes, all that stuff. Soaps even on the counter. Like I don't want to see any of that in listing photos. I want it gone. Right. So that's all like stuff where we get really picky when we go prep a home for listing photos, because all that stuff matters. Like if all that's cleared out of the way, then what are people focused on? Being emotionally like drawn to your house. That's what they're focused on. And all your material features that you've worked so hard on, like you're selling yourself short if you don't prep your home for photo day. Yeah.
And I think by taking a lot of stuff out, it allows for the buyers to imagine themselves in the home because it's a clean slate, and I think the more that you fill it with stuff, the more they can kind of not see themselves in it,
Yep.
you know?
Yep. Definitely.
It's a pretty simple equation.
Yeah.
Good
Maybe you're
photos.
judging the soap brand.
Yeah, right.
You're
No,
like,
they use Suave. Ugh.
what's going on here?
Cheap.
Dove, really? Well, cheap.
Offer just went down.
If you take good photos, if you do the right thing, organize your house, make these photos look incredible, you're going to get so many more showings, which then
Yeah.
equals more offers. The opposite side is if you don't take the time to do well on your photos look like crap, you're just not going to get the interest. That's the simple math of it. So
Yep.
there's more you can do too. Like after photos come the repairs, right? Those will usually come before photos, but repairs are a huge one. And ignoring those repairs can be a big issue.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's important. This is kind of going off of Gabby's point. I mean, I know Gabby was talking about like, you know, getting maybe newer appliances and, you know, kind of stuff like that. But yeah, repairs could be something like caulking or, you know, just like little simple fixes around the house. Because I think a lot of times buyers like overestimate how much that stuff is going to cost when really at the end of the day, like, kind of if you have a bunch of pictures on the wall that are family photos, which we all love, those look great in a house, you take those down. Now there's a bunch of holes in the wall.
Yep.
That's not going to look great. Just by filling in those holes and repainting that wall, maybe that wasn't that expensive of a change, but like the wall looks visually better. And maybe you add a photo up there and maybe you don't.
It doesn't look like the Grinch just came and stole all your pictures.
Right.
Left
And you can
wires
totally
hanging.
see when people have all those holes in the wall and how, you know, that doesn't make it look good.
Yep.
And small repairs can prevent big concessions, you know, because like I said, if that wall looks clean, then people are going to assume the house is clean, assume that the house is in well condition.
Totally.
Whereas if there are kind of holes in the walls or, you know, whatever,
Especially in a market like this.
people are going to say, ooh, what's going on? What else is going on with this house? When maybe the house is in perfect condition, right?
Yeah,
That
and I
perception's
think
huge.
Something to remember too is when someone's touring a house or whatever, they're not thinking like the logic part of it, I guess, where it's like, oh, tiny hole, we'll patch that up, or oh, it's a little messy, we'll just clean it before we move in. Like, no, they're thinking about how they feel in the house, like in that moment.
Yep.
So it is a bigger deal than some people may think.
Yep.
And not that this is a repair, but like paint, you know, I feel like simple neutral colors are good. It was funny, like somebody else on our team, Jackson, showed a house. There was like one red wall in one room of the whole house. And the guy was like, I don't want to buy it.
Turned them off immediately.
There's a red wall. And Jackson's like, I'll paint the wall. You know, I'll paint it white. You know what? I'll paint it whatever you want. But he's like, I just can't. Like the emotional appeal was gone because of, but everything else he loved about the house. So it's kind of crazy how simple repairs make such a big difference.
Well, those simple repairs too, if they go under contract, like if you go under contract with a buyer and you haven't taken care of some of those really simple repairs that don't cost you a ton of money, they may end up costing you a ton after inspection because the inspector will find those.
Right.
If they're a good inspector, they will find those things, which makes that inspection report that much bigger
Yeah.
and that list that much longer, which then could cause them to be like, oh man, there's so much going on with this house, even if it's just a freaking electric outlet cover, right?
Yeah.
The
Overwhelms
smallest
the
of things.
buyer.
It just overwhelms the buyer
Yep.
and it throws them off. That, and like you said, that initial feeling that they had when they first walked in the house were like, yeah, this is awesome. Then becomes the emotional side of the inspection of like, holy freaking crap, there's so much to this house. I don't know if I want to just focus on this stuff because all this other laundry list stuff is like super important to us as well. So, and obviously it's all different with every buyer, but if you can eliminate that and try to make this a positively emotional experience as much as you possibly can, it's going to make you more money in the long run as a seller.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
So, so you can imagine if your home looks great, it's priced great, repairs are handled, but buyers still can't get inside, right? If we're making this home too hard to show, that can be a deal killer. So, got to make sure that it's accessible to people. And
Yeah.
that's really important.
Yeah, I think like what I would recommend if this is possible for you to do is, Landon was talking about this earlier, the first 7 days that it's on the market is prime time. So, I mean, if you're able to like go out of town even that first weekend. You know, I get asking someone to go out of town for 7 days is a lot, but that first weekend, if you're able to go out of town and just let showings happen as often as they need to, that benefits you and benefits your home, benefits all the agents that are trying to book showings. And, you know, I get people have pets and, you know, their kids are in school and, you know, their kids need to go to bed. I totally get that. And all those are valid. But at the end of the day, if you have a vacant home, that's almost the best case scenario. The other thing is if you aren't living there, then you don't have to feel like you're kind of tiptoeing around your own living space, right? So now all of a sudden, if you are living there and there's a showing, now you have to hide your shampoo bottles, you have to hide your rugs, you have to make sure all your dishes are done. You know, there's like kind of a lot of stress there versus if you are able to just like get the house clean, step away for a couple of days, you know, that could make a really big difference.
Yeah,
Definitely.
So vacant is kind of like the best case scenario. Honestly, less stress for you, less stress for them.
And is that okay if I'm working at home while the showing happens?
Okay, yeah, you should not be
don't
there
do that.
during the showing. That, even if you're the nicest person, I think it's still, let them have their own experience.
Yes.
And I think any experience can be hindered in any way, and I think it's better to like just not affect the experience.
You know what's crazy? So I've had a couple of experiences. So I've been able to go through houses where no one or nothing is in there watching you, right? And it's always better. Then you
Yeah.
have the next option of like, we've all been in the houses where we can see cameras everywhere, right? Which is understandable. Like security reasons, security is great.
Totally.
And then you have, I think we've all shown, I don't know if you have, Gabby, or not, but we've all shown a house where there's been someone present.
Yeah.
And that is terrible. You can't talk freely. You're literally just walking through the house like super quiet or whispering super low, fully knowing that someone could be listening, or the you know, sometimes the seller's like following you closely by. It completely turns off the buyer completely.
Yeah.
It just, no one wants to be in there. It's a bad experience. They have a bad taste in their mouth because they couldn't just walk through it freely, get the emotional side. It takes the emotion to the negative side. And
I can't think of one, like out of 1,000 homes that I've sold in my career, I can't think of one house that I've sold or that I've written an offer on with a buyer who walked through the house with the seller in it.
Yep.
For the showing. If I can, like if I'm just forgetting, like I could easily count it on one hand. Like there's no way that happens often.
Yeah.
Because of how awkward it is.
I feel like I would have remembered that transaction because that would have stuck out to me quite a bit. Because I've never been through a house where everyone's like, holy cow, this is great. We'd love to offer on your house. Like,
Just
Right.
doesn't happen.
no, it doesn't happen at all. Because there's like, everyone's walking on eggshells.
And I think even if it is a beautiful house, it's still, I mean, I think every update that people do, like everybody has different tastes and that's fine. And so I think it also allows them not to speak freely of like, oh, I wish I could like change this one thing, or, oh, you know, because they don't want to like have offense towards the person that's standing right there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
part of this, and this may offend some people, and I apologize if it does, but like the type of homeowner that is there during showings that doesn't want to leave their house is also the type of homeowner that didn't prep their home incredibly well, right? And so that's maybe another reason why those homes don't sell as fast, you know, and they take a lot longer to sell. And so I think that's just like you have to really want to sell your house, right? And care about making the sacrifice to make that happen. So I think
And
that's
you know what the
important.
worst part is on some of these? Usually when the seller's there, it's because they're like working from home and you don't really know what room they're working in.
Yeah.
And so you're walking through the rooms and then you open the door and you're like, oh,
What's behind door number 3?
yeah, you're like, sorry. And they're like on a call and they're just like,
With their headset on.
so
Yeah.
annoying.
I know.
It drives me nuts. And then you can't
It's
even get a
tough.
look at that room because they're working.
Yeah.
So I guess like best advice would be to just like get a library, you know, like Wi-Fi access. You know,
You could go to the mall.
library or
You could go to
Starbucks
Walmart.
or-
You could go to any restaurant in the
Yeah.
freaking Denver metro area. Hop on their
Yeah.
Wi-Fi. It's really not hard to work somewhere else
Yeah.
unless you have
Actually,
multiple
there's
screens.
work, like, isn't there a work, like an office that you have a membership to? And
You can have
go
like
into
rental
and-
workspaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe just do that for the week or two, hopefully, that your house is on the market.
You'd be better off to price your home low and do it for 1 or 2 weekends and then be done.
Yep.
Right. But most sellers that are in that boat don't do that. They price it high and then they try to work around it. So
if you can
Yeah.
get yourself in the mindset of like, hey, we're going to have to sacrifice a little bit here during the selling process to really get what we want, you're going to be fine. Like it's selling isn't the easiest process, especially in a market like this. So be prepared to, you're going to have to leave for a while to make this the best experience for the buyer. If you really want to sell your home, these are the types of sellers where it's like, okay, do you really want this? Like, are you really like willing to work for this to really get the most money out of your house? And I don't know. It's a tough one, but
totally. Well, and even if you have as many showings as possible, none of this matters if you don't have the right marketing strategy, the right exposure, representation, and the right person that's coaching you through each step of the way, so that you don't make these big mistakes. So choosing the wrong agent is another one that's a big one that happens all the time. And really, not all agents are equal. Not all agents provide a good marketing strategy. Not all agents know how to negotiate. Some agents abide by the list and pray philosophy, right? Put a sign up, throw it on the MLS, and just pray that it sells. And there's no proactivity going on. A lot of agents are inexperienced. You have 24,000 options in this market. So how do you find a good one, right? A really good agent that knows what they're doing. Well, if you're watching this podcast, you're in luck. You found us. No, I'm just kidding. We're not the perfect fit for everybody. We're probably not. But let's talk. Like if you feel like we might be a good fit, let's talk and we can do a little consultation call and see if we're the right fit to work together. Because we've helped a lot of people and we love what we do. So
we actually do multiple transactions a year.
Yeah.
There are like a majority of the agents out there right now, licensed real estate agents, maybe get one or two deals a year.
47% of all realtors have not done a deal this year.
Yep.
Wow.
So a lot of licensees that are not active in the business.
We're doing quite well compared to that stat. So
We also have like a lot of people in our team. So I think we have a lot of like, we have a big age range. We have a big,
Different personalities.
So I mean,
if I'm not the right agent, Gabby will be.
Yeah,
Gabby's not, Jackson will be.
there's somebody on
right.
our team that could be a good fit. I feel like no question.
Yeah.
For sure.
He'll even paint a wall for you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Put him to work.
And so I think another one is just like not all agents communicate well. And so you may be left in the dark a lot. Not all agents know the market. I can't tell you how many times I ask agents when I'm trying to refer someone in a different state, like, hey, what's your average price? And they don't know the answer. And so I'm calling the next agent, you have to know your market and not all agents do. And then how to interview an agent properly, right? Like what are some good questions to ask an agent to make sure that you really know you're working with the right person, right? Maybe like how many homes have you sold in my neighborhood, or in this area generally? And what's your strategy?
What marketing do you usually provide?
Yep.
Yeah.
What's your marketing plan? What's your strategy for pricing? How would I know that you're a good negotiator? Like questions like that would be really good to ask your listing agent on a listing presentation. So, and even with the right agent, the right prep, and the right price, some sellers make one final, very costly mistake, and that's waiting for the perfect moment, which sounds smart, but usually it ends up costing the most.
Yeah. Sometimes it's better to just pull the trigger, and sometimes it is better to wait. But it really depends on what type of market we're in. Seasonality is a big one. Like, the whole spring argument, typically, right? Seasonally, the springtime is the best time to list your home because that's when people are the most active. But that isn't always the case. For example, back during the COVID time, we had, I think it was like 2022 maybe. We had gone through 2020, 2021. We saw that same seasonality. And then we saw like this busy season just all of a sudden ramp up in January, I think of 2022, I think is when it was, which is completely out of character for any market really in real estate. January, like quarter four and quarter one are usually pretty quiet up until the end of quarter one when things start to pick up again. But it was just because of how the market was reacting to COVID and some of the other things that were going on. it just, this little micro market of boom, January is like super hot. Like
People
the
could sense rates going up.
Yeah, yeah, and so people were like hopping on it, yeah, because rates were adjusting negatively, and people were trying to jump on the wagon as soon as they could. So in that case, we were like, hey, if you're thinking of selling, you got to get on this. We're not waiting until spring. You got to get moving now. And it's things like that, like micro trends or like micro markets that pop up and down, are something that you should ask your agent about. Like, speaking of interviewing your agents, like those should be big questions you're asking, like, hey, when is the best time to market my home? And if they say, well, yeah, springtime's a great time, that's not always the case.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to find the right agent too, is because I think there's this big like theory that we're just saying it's a good or bad time, when it's a good or bad time for us. When you're working with the right agent, that's never the case. Like, usually they're trying to steer you in the right direction, not just trying to benefit themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. This recent market has been a little bit harder to navigate with rates, and, you know, economists are saying one thing and then another half of the economists are saying the other. The Fed's saying one thing, doing the opposite. Then the Fed finally does something. It's just constant waves. And so when you have an experienced agent that is navigating, or that's been in the market for a really long time, and this is like their full-time gig, they'll typically know when the best time to sell is. And our job is to time it to the point where we're going to see the most activity in the market. So when buyers are full-fledged out and ready to go, and we can get multiple offer situations and start getting you the most money for your house. So the perfect time doesn't always mean when it's most convenient for you. It's usually more on the lines of like, okay, what's going to get us the most buyers? So,
Yep, that makes a good point. So to recap, you know, the biggest financial losses don't just come from like one blunder, right? It usually is just a small series of oversights that happen over and over again, whether it's pricing it too high, whether it's not prepping your home, poor photos, skipped repairs, difficult showings, as far as like timing for opening up your house for showings, hiring the wrong agent, and trying to time the market. Those are the 7 that we've identified as just costly mistakes that sellers experience. And so avoiding these seven mistakes can easily save Denver sellers tens of thousands of dollars. No question, you know, with the combination of all these things that happen. And so if selling a home is on your radar for next year in Denver, and you've been kicking the can on that and thinking that it might be finally time to do it, give us a call. We'll give you a market analysis. We can do a consultation call just to see if we're a good fit to work together and help you avoid 1 or 7 of these costly mistakes. And a short conversation today can save you tens of thousands of dollars, and help you, make the right move for you, and help this be a smooth process. So we appreciate you listening, and we will catch you on the next one.